Treasure of Nature. Hello children. Look at this. What do you see? Yes, it's a rainy day. It's raining. Now the main source of all fresh water on earth is rain. When it rains, water fills up our lakes, rivers and oceans. So now you all know, where does the water on the earth come from? Now what happens to a puddle on the playground after the sun comes out? It disappears. Now where does this water go? Let me tell you. Some of it flows over the land into the rivers, streams, ponds and lakes. Some of it soaks deep into the ground to become groundwater. Some of it gets heated by the sun and goes back into the air to make clouds again. Now, we can't just drink water straight from a river or the ground because it might have dirt in it. Water travels a long way to reach our kitchen and bathroom taps. It is collected from rivers or lakes, cleaned up beautifully in water treatment plant, and then pumped through big pipes into the water tanks in our neighborhood and homes. Sources of water. What are sources of water? The place from where we get water are called sources of water. A source is just a starting place. So any place in nature or around us where we can go to find and get water is called a source of water. Some of the sources of water are rivers, wells, waterfalls, hand pumps, lakes, dams, streams, etc. Every living thing needs water to survive. Since it doesn't rain every single day, we have to save and store extra water so we don't run out. Now let us see why we have to save it in big amounts. To drink. We need clean and safe water to drink. That is called as potable water. To grow food. Farmers need lots of water for their crops and plants to grow. For animals. Animals need plenty of water to drink and stay healthy. Let us see the storage of water in large quantities. Lake. When rainwater fills up a natural low dip in the ground, it forms a lake. Sometimes people build strong walls around it to keep the water inside and give it a clean shape. Depending on where you live, people also use certain traditional words for lakes like Pushkarni, Vapi or Vapika. Wells. When it rains, the ground acts like a giant sponge and drinks up some of the water. That water hides deep underground. Now to get it back, people dig a deep hole called a well so we can pull the water up and use it. Bunds. Think of a bund like a small wall made of stones or soil. When water is rushing down a river or a small stream, people build this wall right across it to stop the water from running away. This helps trap the water so it can stay in the farmers' fields to help plants grow. Ponds and tanks on forts. Long ago, kings lived high up on big rocky hills inside forts. Because they couldn't just walk down the mountain to get water every day, they dug big tanks and ponds straight into the stones of the fort. These tanks caught rainwater and saved enough of it to last the people the whole year. Old tanks, or also known as hoard. A hoard is a traditional man-made tank built a long time ago out of stone or concrete to store extra water. Some of these are so strong that people still use them today. The water inside them is used for drinking, watering farm crops, or building things. Do you know? This is a special, very old well called Baramatichi Vihir, located in a place called Satara. It isn't just a regular hole in the ground. It looks like a beautiful underground palace made entirely of stone. It has lots of steps going down into it, and it is a famous historic place that tourists love to visit. Isn't it so beautiful? Our planet Earth has a lot of water. In fact, if you divide the Earth into 10 parts, about 7 of those parts would be covered by water. However, almost all of it is in the oceans, which means it is salty and we cannot drink it. Some water is locked away as solid ice on freezing mountains, and some is hidden deep underground. Because of this, only a tiny precious amount is potable, that is, safe for us to drink. Let us understand this with the help of the barrel, cup, and drop example. The big barrel, that is, the total amount of water on earth. This represents all the water on the planet. It includes the salty oceans, frozen ice, and underground water. It is huge, but we can't drink most of it. Next is the teacup, which denotes the fresh water. If you take out only the fresh water, that is, the water that isn't salty, including frozen ice and groundwater, it would only fill a small teacup. And the last is the single drop, which is the potable water. Out of that whole teacup, the actual clean water we can easily get from rivers and wells to drink is just one single drop. Because clean drinking water is as rare as a single drop out of a whole barrel, we must never waste it. Every drop counts. Only a tiny amount of the water on earth is actually safe for us to drink. Because it is so hard to find, we should never waste even a single drop. Now we use water every single day for our health and daily chores. There is nothing else that can do what water does. No living things, that is humans, animals or plants, can stay alive without it. That is why people say, water is life. Let us see how to reuse used water. Instead of throwing away water we have already used once, we can give it a second job. This is called the reuse of water. For plants, water left over from washing vegetables, fruits or clothes can be poured into plant pots. For cleaning, water left over after drinking can be used to flush and clean toilets. Safe drinking water or potable water. What is it? Water that is perfectly clean and does not harm our health when we drink it is called safe drinking water or potable water. Why it matters? Drinking clean water keeps our body healthy and stops us from getting sick with diseases like diarrhea and stomach aches. Do you know? Many years ago, people didn't have big modern filters or factory chemicals. Instead, they used traditional natural items from the earth to purify their water, such as neem and tulsi, coriander leaves, amla and jamun, and nirmali seeds. Now, these seeds are best known as clearing nuts for their ancient natural ability to purify and clarify muddy drinking water. Let us see some modern methods used to make water safe. The first one is filtration. It is pouring water through a cloth or a strainer to catch and separate big bits of dirt or soil particles. Next is settling. In this, a special mineral called alum is swirled in muddy water. This makes all the heavy dirt stick together and drop right to the bottom, leaving the top water clear. Next is boiling. Here, the water is heated up until it bubbles for 10 to 15 minutes. This is super important because it kills tiny, invisible germs. And the last one is disinfection. Here we add tiny amounts of bleaching powder or chlorine tablets to the water, which helps to kill any remaining harmful germs. Water pollution. What is water pollution? When things like soapy water, plastic trash, fertilizers from farms, plaster of Paris idols, factory chemicals, etc. get into our water, they make it dirty and unsafe. This is called water pollution. Polluted water is dangerous and harms the health of humans, animals, and plants. Do you know? The Government of India started a project called Namami Gange in June 2014 to clean up the river Ganga. This is to clean up the river banks, plant trees along the water, treat dirty wastewater before it enters the river, and work hard to protect the fish and other aquatic animals living inside it. Rainwater conservation. Water is one of our most important natural resources. But in India, we only get rain during the monsoon season. To make sure we have enough water for the rest of the year, we have to save it. This is called rainwater conservation. Now there are 3 ways to do this. First is rainwater harvesting. Pipes are attached to the roof of a house. When it rains, the water flows down the pipes and gets collected in a storage tank instead of just wasting away into the ground. Next is farm ponds. Farmers dig large ponds on their land to catch and store rainwater. This ensures that their crops always have water even during dry times. And third one is trenches on hill slopes. Long step-like trenches, that is ditches, are dug into the sides of hills. When it rains, these trenches slow down the water and help it sink deep into the ground, which increases the groundwater levels. Soil and water. Look at this image. What do you see? Yes, rocks and pebbles. When rainwater falls on hard rocks and pebbles, it cannot sink in. Instead, it just rolls and flows right over them. Now look at this image. What do you see? Soil with a sprout. When rainwater falls on loose soil, the water seeps straight into the ground. Soil acts like a sponge because it has the capacity to hold on to water. Because the soil catches and traps water, it plays a massive role in water conservation. Just like water, soil is one of our most important natural resources. Now it takes many years for nature to create a single layer of soil. The very top layer of dirt is called fertile soil. This is the rich, healthy layer packed with nutrients that plants absolutely need to grow. Because it takes so long to make it, we have to protect it. When land is completely bare, strong winds and heavy rains can easily wash or blow the good fertile topsoil away. This loss of dirt is called soil erosion. Now we can stop or reduce soil erosion by growing things like grass, shrubs, and trees. Let me tell you how it works. The roots of the plants act like tiny hands holding the dirt together under the ground, keeping it firmly in place. Growing plants is the best way to practice soil conservation. Now look at this image. This is a barren and destructive future. Without trees or plants, the land becomes cracked, dry, and empty like a desert. Crops cannot grow, and the earth is ruined. Now look at this. What do you see here? Yes, a lush green and prosperous future. When we care for the soil, plant trees, and look after nature, the land stays green, healthy, and full of life. You must have seen certain objects in your house or surroundings that are made from soil, like clay pots, diyas, or bricks. Can you imagine? These beautiful objects are all made from soil. Wonderful, na? Now, do you know that there are different types of soils also found? That too in Maharashtra. Let us see which are they. They are as follows: alluvial soil, black soil, which is also known as Reger soil, red soil, laterite soil, mountainous soil, marshy soil, peat soil, and shadu soil, that is clay. So these were the different types of soils that were found right here in Maharashtra. But today in this lesson, we are going to learn about the three main types of soils which are found in our surroundings. The first one is sandy soil. Yes, you must have understood by the name only when it says sandy soil. This soil is full of lots and lots of sand. Water passes through it incredibly fast. Because it drains so quickly, sandy soil dries out very fast and does not hold on to moisture. The next one is clayey soil. Again, this soil feels very sticky and soft. Its tiny dirt pieces are packed together tightly with almost no space between them. It easily traps and holds onto water. And because it is so sticky and moldable, it is excellent for growing certain crops and making everyday clay items and statues, like how especially we used to make small Ganpatis. And the third one is loamy soil. Now this is something new. Let us see what it is. This is a perfect team up. It is made from a healthy mixture of sandy soil, clayey soil and fine mud, also known as silt. It holds on to just the right amount of water, which helps the ground stay nicely damp and moist. Because it has the best balance of air and water, it is super useful and ideal for growing healthy crops and plants. Soil pollution. Just like water and air can get dirty, the ground can get dirty too. When harmful things get mixed into the earth, it makes the soil dirty and unhealthy. This is called soil pollution. Now let us see what causes these soil pollution. Pesticides. Now the strong chemical sprays that are used to kill the bugs on plants soak into the ground and harm the soil. Chemical fertilizers. Nowadays, too many factory-made chemicals are being used so as to make crops grow faster. But over the time, it will ruin the earth. Garbage and plastic. Huge piles of trash, plastic bottles and waste are being dumped onto the land, which is stopping the soil from breathing, as these things do not mix or dissolve into the earth. Factory waste. Now large trucks and factories are dumping dirty, hazardous chemicals directly onto the ground, contaminating the land. Now when soil becomes polluted, it loses its strength and fertility. This means it becomes too weak and toxic to grow healthy fruits, crops and vegetables. But how can we protect the soil? Instead of harmful factory chemicals, farmers should use natural organic fertilizers. Let us see how they are made. Organic fertilizer is made naturally from animal waste like cow dung and decomposed dry leaves. It feeds the plants safely and keeps the soil healthy and happy. So this is how we can protect the soil. Ultimately, Treasure of Nature reminds us that the environment is not a bottomless well of resources, but a delicate, priceless gift. Nature provides everything we need to survive, making it our greatest treasure. So, therefore, my dear children, protecting the environment is not just an option, but it is our ultimate responsibility. I hope you understood this lesson.